What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, subscribe to mi familia. Make sure you hit that bell button so you get notified every time I upload. Really, Athena? Hey, no. In today's video, I will be talking about my experience with pregnancy, what I went through during my first, second, and third trimester, the differences between all three of them, because in my experience, they are completely different. And here you might see me looking over because I have my laptop with the notes, that way I can remember everything. So when I talk about my trimesters, everyone's experience is different. Every pregnancy is different. Not every woman is the same. So if I experience something, that doesn't necessarily mean that you may have experienced, or you may have. But in this video, I'll be talking about what I experienced, more like what I'm experiencing. And this is my first pregnancy. So when I first got pregnant, I would go on Google and kind of like look for information about my pregnancies. Like if I was in my first trimester, I would look for information, and I had some symptoms and then others I didn't. So everyone is completely different. But in this video, I'll be talking about my experience. And I have this space open because I'll be posting pictures and videos here of what I'm talking about. That way you kind of get visuals of what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna start off with the first trimester, obviously. So when I first found out I was pregnant, I was 116 pounds. I absolutely loved working out. Working out was my stress reliever. It's where I felt comfortable. It's where I let everything out. I just absolutely fell in love with the gym, but it has not always been like that. When I was 18, I was almost gonna turn 19, and I was 75 pounds. Can you imagine an 18-year-old, well, technically 19-year-old, 75 pounds? I was very insecure about myself, especially in school. They tell me, you don't eat, like, oh, what's wrong, you don't eat, or why are you so skinny? Or they'll like get my wrist and they'll be like, oh my god, you're so skinny. It would always make me feel bad. But my weight has always been an issue for me. And then that's when I started getting into fitness. A lot of people think, oh, why are you going to a gym if you're already so skinny? You don't need to be going to the gym. What you need to be doing is eating. And the gym is not necessarily only to lose weight. People gain weight there, they gain muscle, they gain mass. So the gym is not only to lose weight. So like I said, when I was basically 19 years old, I started the gym. Then slowly I started gaining weight and more weight. And I don't mean weight as in fat, but I started getting muscle. And of course, I didn't get from 75 to what I was instantly. It took a lot of work. And I don't mean a lot of work as in a lot of work in the gym. Most of the work for me, or I feel like for majority of people, most of the work is at what you do at the house, like how much you eat, what you eat, making sure you're drinking your supplements, making sure you're drinking enough water. And that's how I ended up gaining weight. So I ended up going from 75 pounds, and my prime time, which was when I got pregnant, I was at my prime, which was 116 pounds. So I ended up gaining 40 pounds, as you can see here. My main focus was my legs and my glutes. A lot of people are like, you're doing legs again. I felt like in my upper body, I feel like I already have broad shoulders. So I would go to the gym about 6 times a week, sometimes even 7. Like that's how much I loved going to the gym. Like I said, I mostly did lower body, but don't get me wrong, I also did upper body. But I just felt like I didn't want to be too muscular in my upper body, especially that my shoulders were already like squared and they were broad, and it was just something I didn't like. But I did focus mainly on my lower body. The whole reason why I'm talking about this is because when I got pregnant in my first trimester, so remember when I first got pregnant I was 116, I was in my prime time. When I found out I was pregnant, I completely stopped going to the gym, like completely. From one day to another I stopped the gym entirely. I did not go, not one time. I feel like my whole pregnancy till this day I've probably only gone to the gym 5 times since I've gotten pregnant, and I found out I was pregnant when I was 2 weeks. So it's been a very long time since I've been at the gym. My biggest symptom was me being nauseous. Like everything I smelled or I seen, not everything but mainly everything that I seen or smelled, I would get very, very nauseous, and it would gross me out, especially bacon. I love bacon, but for some reason when I went in my first trimester, I absolutely hated bacon so bad. I would come to the room and my boyfriend would eat it here, and I would be like, can you please like go to the table? I cannot stand that smell. It grosses me out very, very bad. So with constantly being nauseous, I ended up in 2 months, the 2 months of being pregnant, I ended up losing 16 pounds. So I dropped back down to 100 pounds. It was because I was constantly nauseous, I was vomiting. But when I lost the 16 pounds, my sisters don't live with me, so they would come. My older sisters don't live with me, and one of my little sisters, they don't live with me, so they would be like, when they would come and see me, they would be like, oh my god, you're losing weight, like what's wrong? And they saw it in my face, like my cheeks were in, and I was just, my first trimester was just, I feel like out of all 3 trimesters, my worst one I would have to say is definitely my first trimester, because I had lost all that weight and people constantly telling me, you're losing weight, you need to start eating, and that's bad for you. And it's like, I know that I'm losing weight, like I see it in myself, and that just made me feel even worse. So that my first trimester was very hard for me, and it just brought me right back to when I was 18 years old and feeling very, very insecure about myself. And then other symptoms that I felt were just like my breasts were swollen, and they're very sore. Like even when I would touch it, like if I would shower, they would hurt. But in the first trimester, I got to see my baby for the first time and hear his heartbeat for the first time. If I'm not mistaken, I had my first doctor's appointment when I was 8 weeks. I did get to see my baby boy for the first time and hear his heartbeat, and it was just very emotional. So yeah, that was my experience with the first trimester. I am so glad I am done with it, because for me, the first trimester is the worst out of all trimesters for me, in my opinion, and that's just my experience. So now to talk about my second trimester. I'm just gonna look over and kind of tell you what my second trimester was like. So in my second trimester, I started growing my belly, and I'm gonna put pictures here of like when I started to gain my weight back, thank God. So yeah, in the second trimester is where I started gaining all my weight back. The nausea completely stopped. I wasn't as fatigued as I was in the first trimester. But oh yeah, dizziness definitely came in my second trimester. I remember I was in the kitchen cooking, and then I told my boyfriend like, I'm feeling dizzy. And then I sat down on the chair and I started seeing the room spin. And then I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna faint, like I feel it. And then she's like, she told my boyfriend to go get milk, and I drank it and I laid down. But laying down with my feet up made me feel better. And also in my second trimester was our gender reveal. That's when we found out he was a boy. And I don't know, I feel like from the beginning, I would always tell my boyfriend, oh, I think it's a boy, I think it's a boy. Like in my heart, I always felt like it was a boy, but I didn't care what it was. For me, I was fine having both, but if I had to choose, I would have wanted a boy, and I'm having a boy, so, and I got what I wanted. But if it was a girl, I would have been just as happy having her. In my gender reveal, I was still very skinny. Like you can see in my cheeks of how, and in my chest, like how skinny I was. But I started gaining my weight back, which is good and I'm happy about. And in my second trimester is when I saw my baby for the second time. I'll put a clip here of how of him in the second trimester, and as you can see, is a huge difference, very, very huge difference of how he looked in the first trimester. I heard his heartbeat, and it was just very emotional. I feel like every time you see your baby, it's very emotional. And then lastly, in my second trimester is when I felt his kicks for the first time. I believe I was 18 weeks when I felt his kicks for the first time, and people say it feels like popcorn popping or butterflies, but I would say that's true. It does feel like little popcorns popping, and that was something I was waiting for since I found out I was pregnant. I was just like, can't wait till I feel him. Also the gender reveal, like knowing what he was. So in my second trimester, it was, all in all, it was good because I ended up getting my energy back. I ended up gaining weight again. My belly started to grow and started to show. So yeah, my second trimester, in my opinion, was the best trimester for me. As you all can see, I am in my third trimester, and even though my third trimester does have some side effects that I don't necessarily like, I would much rather prefer this than my first trimester, always feeling sick and all. So in my third trimester is where I gained so much weight. I remember when I got pregnant, I was 100 pounds. Now I'm about 142 pounds, and I just turned 8 months. So I feel like by the time I give birth, I'll probably be about 155, I believe. Oh man, swollen feet and hands. Even my face is swollen. As you can see, when my brother got out of jail, he like touched my cheeks. He said, getting chunky, and that makes me feel good because I'd rather be chunky than be too skinny. But that's just me. My hands barely started getting swollen about 3 days ago, and they look like sausages right now. And I feel like when I close, like when I clench my fist, that's when I feel them swollen, and my feet get swollen every single day, and I hate it. If I'm sitting down at the table, they get swollen. If I'm sitting down on the couch, they get swollen. If I'm in a certain position for like more than 10 minutes, my feet end up falling asleep. Like right now, I feel the tingly through my knees, knee pain. Oh my god, knee pain. When I am sleeping is in the night is when I get my pain in my knees, and I always tell my boyfriend, like, my knees hurt. So then I just get icy hot and I rub it on my knees, but then, you know, they end up getting pain again, or my sheets end up smelling like it, and it's just like it's just knee pain. I don't like it, but whatever. Okay, constantly hungry. I am always hungry. Food, if I'm not eating, I have food in my head. I'm just thinking about what to eat next. But thankfully for my mom, every time I am hungry or I want something or I'm craving something, she always cooks it. Like when I want meat cooked outside, she'll cook it that same exact day. Or I want ribs, she'll make it. Macaroni with cornbread, she'll make it. It's just anything that I say, like, Mom, I want this, she'll be like, oh, we'll make it today, I'll make it for you. So Mom, if you're watching this, thank you so much, I love you. Emotional. I am an emotional wreck. I look at a sad movie and I start crying. Even if it's just like a commercial, I start crying. Or for anything I cry, and my boyfriend's like, what are you crying about now? Like, because it's just like I cry over everything. I'm just so emotional. Or it's like one moment I'm emotional, another moment I'm mad, and he's like, why are you mad? And I'm just like, I don't know, like, just leave me alone. And it's just, I'm very emotional, but I feel like I was emotional throughout my whole pregnancy. I'm just an emotional person. So I tell him I'm sorry, but just please put up with me. Frequent urination. I feel like I live in the bathroom, especially when I drink a lot of water. I am always going to the restroom. He is constantly pushing down on my bladder, and it's like I go to the restroom, and then within 10 minutes I have to use the restroom again, and then I have to use it again. And lastly, stronger kicks. I feel like this baby sometimes is gonna burst out of my stomach. So in my second trimester is when I started feeling his kicks, but they are nothing compared to what they are now. If I'm laying down, you just see like something popping out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's his elbow, his hand, his head, his back, his leg. I don't know what it is, but I just see it popping out. I just see it popping out of my stomach, and I just like sometimes push it in because I'm like, damn, like this baby's trying to get out already. He's like gonna pop his bag or something. So all in all, so far my third trimester is not so bad. It's just like me being swollen, but I'm almost there. I am, in 2 days I'm 34 weeks, so 6 more weeks to go, and I can't wait to meet him. If he comes now, I feel like I basically have everything, but there are some stuff that I still need to buy. I just can't wait to have him here. I can't wait for you all to meet him. So this is probably like a long video of me ranting, and I'm sorry if it was boring, but this is just me talking about my experiences with my trimesters and what I felt, my symptoms. Like I said, not everyone is the same, not every pregnancy is the same. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to mi familia, turn on the post notifications, that way you get notified every time I upload. And if you guys have any ideas for videos that you would like for me to do, comment down below. I'll be reading your comments, and until next time.